Hi, everyone. Okay, so here was my thought. I was going to come to you every single night for the concert, but then I thought that may be too much. So I did a compilation and I also am going to take my hair down for a second. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to keep this hat on because I'm hot. So let's go through this. The first night and the second, okay, so I went the first night, the third night, fourth, and fifth. I skipped the second night. And um, yeah. So the first night was completely different from the other the other nights. So that's pretty fascinating. But let's go through these pictures. I'm going to try to see how I can go through these pictures without showing all my business. Okay. So I'm going to share screen here. So if I have to start showing my business, then I'm gonna like span out real quick. Okay, so this was night one. I wore a tube top. I wore a white hat with a jean strip. You'll see a little bit more. I wore the Ivy Pack jean jacket. I stand by the fact that I think that the Ivy Park drops were supposed to coincide with her albums. I stand by that because the number, especially even at the Renaissance, the number of silver outfits, the silver and the floral outfits, I saw a lot of Ivy Park silver. Um, mm, I didn't buy a lot of silver at Ivy Park because I was like, I do not want to look like a disco ball, but to each his own. So this is what I wore the first night. I will say that um, we got free drinks. And when I tell you bomb.com, interestingly enough, sitting on the floor, you actually get a different mix of drinks than you do in at least, okay, so put it out there. First night I was on the floor. Um, I got a different mix of drinks than I did on the than when I was on the level above. They had they did have a different, it's like Texas Buckham, Texas Hold'em, like Buckham, Honey Bay. So there's three, there's signature drinks. Those are the three signature drinks. But they have three different signature drinks for people who are on the floor. And I know that there's a difference because this drink it was free drinks. It was made with vodka, pineapple, and something else. And that was only available for people who sat on the floor. Okay. Okay. I was like, I need more of this drink. And then I didn't realize that they were giving out more of these drinks until I went and bought it on the third night I went because I sat on the floor twice. And I was like, I could do another one, but I'm driving. So one is enough. So this was free. I had two of these. They also had these Cowboy Carter bracelets that light up, and they did that every single night. Um, so there's that. So I had a tube top. I did do an icy. The icy was amazing. This is my colleague. This was another option for my hat, but I let her wear my hat. Um, I had a tube top, white shirt, a white tube top, white pants, and some white Jordans. Okay. So we're walking, first of all, 12 ramps down. I'm not exaggerating because I think it's like 6 or 7, but you got to double it because you walk in one ramp and then one ramp and then one ramp. Praise the Lord. You see, I'm sweaty because I finally made it to the end. Finally, at the end, we're in. And this is as soon as you walk in the room, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Okay, sorry. I got sidetracked. This is what it feels like. This is what it looks like. Sorry. Song again. That's a Prince song for those of you who are trying to figure that out. Um, anyway, this is how we walk into it. We have looks, people have been trying to dissect what this looks like. Yes, I do think that this looks like sunglasses. It's an American flag. There are numbers attached to here, and you know, they're at first glance, you're just thinking it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is not what's happening. So there's that. Don't ask for complexity because I do not know what the numbers mean. So here is where we are, and this is as close as we are to everything. So this is really, really cool. I did see Vanessa Bryant and her daughter. They were there. They were right kind of in front of us, so that was pretty cool. So this was pretty cool. We had a fun time. See the numbers? So as soon as the lights become a little dark, oh, well, here we go. Sorry about that. Here we go. They start off. This is what it looks like when they start off singing American Requiem. I'm gonna pull out the because I gotta remember, and this is where I did not take notes. So I did consider taking notes. Give me a second. I am pulling out I think I bookmarked it. I didn't. I'm gonna be so sad. Um, I did not bookmark it. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I know, because I know I retweeted it. So let me go to my profile and look at my retweets. Mm, Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So we start off with American Requiem. And then she instantly goes into, okay, so the beginning part of American Requiem, I mean, it's dark, then it becomes foggy. American Requiem, they kind of go off. Oh my gosh, you don't want to see all that. She comes out singing, That's Not My Lens. That's what is on the thing because there's one, and I can say it's a valid criticism. I'm not saying that I agree or disagree, but most of the concert, she is kind of far from you. So, um, I'm gonna go back here for a second. So when you see, like, when this opens up, she's not just right here, which is different from the Renaissance. Like the Renaissance, it feels like she was much closer to the front of the into before this, but for so like even if you're sitting on the sides, you are able to kind of still see her. That's not what happened in this. In this concert, she does a number. She's in this triangle, and she's not in the front of the triangle. She's behind the triangle. You know, when the triangle opens, she's behind it. So it's, and even when the triangle opens, she doesn't move forward as much. And so she starts and then begins to come out. So I can see why people have criticized like the fact that the stage is really big. She tends to start a lot of her stuff behind the screen and then move forward. So even though she's working the stage, it doesn't, it feels like she's really far, even when you're, for those of the people who spent a lot more money to go to plus. And let's talk about that. There's been a large discussion about like how many tickets were actually sold and stuff. I will say that I did not see hardly any seats unavailable. So that I can tell you the butts in seats part, I saw no vacancies. Well, I will say I did see maybe a few vacancies, so I'm not even gonna lie about that. But I saw more of the vacancies on the floor than I saw the vacancies from the seats that are in the rafters. But I'm gonna tell you where I saw if there were any vacancies substantially was in the standing areas. The ones that stood like in the middle, that was packed. The ones that were standing off to the side, it was significantly empty. And what I thought was really interesting is, you know, usually in the beginning of a concert, I can see where it's pretty empty. And then once it starts, people starts running and getting into the concert. So then I usually anticipated to get fuller. That did not happen. It did get somewhat fuller, but it did not get fuller to the point where that you would suspect. I think the first night it was more fuller in those areas, but every other night, especially three, four, and five, it was not. It was pretty, I would say maybe 50%, and I'm being generous, was full. Um, so there's that. I don't know what to make of that. I know I would not, I can't stand for a whole entire concert. So, I mean, I stood for the entire concert, but I wouldn't, I at least want to have the option to sit down if I wanted to sit down. So there's that. And I would be sitting on the floor, and I don't know if they'll let you sit on the floor. So anyway, let's go. Let's move forward. So then she goes into, after she sings American Requiem, we get into the um, Blackbird. So this is American Requiem. This is kind of, you see how this is kind of behind, right? So then we get to we get to Blackbird. Now, the thing that, because I'm sitting so close to the floor, you do not get to see the birds that are around. So like in this one, there are birds that are on the floor here, and she twirls around like here. She begins to twirl around after American Requiem, and then she sings Blackbird. You don't get to see that because if you're on the floor, but if you are sitting in the 100 and above, the further up you go, the further up you get to see all the effects on the stage. Then we get to this tattered flag. Um, and yeah, when we get to, this is where you get the blackbird, um, and their blackbirds are flying around, which is really kind of cool. And she's she's twirling around. She takes her cowboy hat off. And then we get to this reclamation. Hold on, let me see if I okay. So after here, she goes into sing, and I don't have a picture of it, so that's the reason why, She gets to start singing. Um, the national anthem. And she sings it where her thing goes red, white, and blue. No, red and the stage behind is red and then it's blue. Well, the problem, and then she's doing it to Jimi Hendrix. Now, this is what I thought was really fascinating is even after the first night, we I will admit that a lot of us were kind of like, wait, what is happening? And then um after the first night, there was so much criticism on this to the point that her mom posted on Instagram, like, have you lost your guys' mind? Like, this is a protest song. I don't see how anybody didn't see it as a protest song because during Blackbirds, she's having all of these older women who are part of country music. You see all these pictures behind her. Then she gets to the national anthem. And then when she you can see that every night she starts singing it louder and louder, like she bumps up whatever, and it's so loud, and she rushes the song so much so she rushes through it to get to um and when it goes in the land of the free, freedom, freedom, I can't move. James. And then under the freedom, freedom, you're having all these different images of segregation, just like the whole, okay, why did that do that for me? Why did I not? I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. I gotta go back under, and then after you get to freedom, freedom, where are you? Because I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself and let my freedom run in hell. Because I'm gonna keep running because I want to know themselves. Right. And then you get to hear Kendrick Lamar. She doesn't do it as long as she did and she doesn't as she's done in the previous tour in Renaissance. And then yeah, man. This comes up, reclamation, and then she really does smoke a joint. And then we get to the reclamation of America, and we get to yeah, yeah. And then while she's doing Yaya, and this is what I love, right? This is the picture. This is the moment. This is the time. This is the energy that we want. As we get to Yaya. And then, oh, hold on, we get to Yaya. She does, You Don't Love Me. And then she starts singing, You Don't Love Me. I'm going to have to, I'm sorry, y'all. Uh, I have to scroll up. Okay. So wait, let me see. Okay, so no, no. Um, okay, so I did it again. So this is from another angle when they come out on the stage. Here we go. And then she see how far back I'm saying? This is how far back she is when she starts American Requiem. And then she does move up, and then we get this image, and then this is what it set looks like when it's she's singing a national anthem, and then you start seeing her picture on the floor. This did not happen first night. First night, we didn't get this, but every other night we did get the star in her picture there. And she sings it so fast. You see how empty this is down here? Look, I am a Bayhive member. I'm just telling you what happened. See how it changed even. Okay, so now we're into Yaya. And again, another image of her and Blue being right next to each other, which is just amazing. 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 Um, and then this is, let's see if this will play. Okay, so here's the thing. Night one, she smokes the cigarette and then she tosses it the into the the piano and it catches on fire real nicely and everything. It actually was a lot. And now she doesn't do the cigarette. So here we go. See how it catches on fire? Yeah, that bummed me out. I was like, so can we bring back the cigarette? So she brought back the cigarette. So that's really awesome. Let me see if there's something else that, let me see. Okay, wait, before I get to there, let me see if I have another night. Okay, I did dress this way another night. I had a bustier, a white shirt underneath it, white pants, and the hat. It was amazing. I did think I was cute. Anyway, so this is what we looked like. We looked really cute. Okay, wait. That's not what we're here for. Oh, and then had the little cowboy, same hat, cooler cowboy shirt, and then I had a red skirt. The red skirt was wide with the necklace. It brought everything in. It was amazing. I thought I looked really cute. Okay. Let's see if I have any other pictures from that. Okay. I don't think I did. Okay, so I think okay. So I mean this is again from the Yaya. This is from the Yaya, and then her singing, Why don't you love me? Why don't you love me? That part. And then we get to Yaya again. Okay. So you saw that movie. Let's get back to business. Okay, so at the end of when she's doing Yaya, she's going crazy. She comes, and I'll put this on mute, and this is what it's supposed to look like. Right. It's the amount of Sir Davis. Right. Sir Davis, the amount. Okay, let's just talk about the product placement. She does this again. I videotaped it again. I think, yeah, here it goes. See, her hand was supposed to be over her drink and she was supposed to drink it. But the drink didn't pour. So there's that. Okay. Um, back up here. Back up here. Where are we at? Um, I think I was here. Oh, here we are. So Chuck Berry. We're at Chuck Berry. Wait, what did I do here? Hmm. Yeah, that's Chuck Berry, the interlude. Um, Look, this concert is literally for her fans. If you don't know Cowboy Carter's music, and if you don't know the Renaissance album, she doesn't perform all of Renaissance, but she performs a great deal of it. If you don't know it, this concert is not going to be for you. You're not going to really enjoy it like you should. So let's just put that out there. And then we get to America. America has a problem. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So we have this little interlude. I did not do the interlude, so I'm so sorry. I think her interludes were amazing. Her films were amazing. You gotta look someplace else. I didn't film that. Look, when I go to a concert, I really am not interested in doing, I don't do a lot of pictures and videos. I like to enjoy the moment. So there's that. So we do, I thought this was lovely. And so that's why I took pictures of it. And she comes up, America has a problem. Dun, 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 dun. Can I say I want this jacket? Beyonce people, I want this jacket. Um, can we sell it for under 500? Thank you. Then we get blue, Miss Little Ivy. And the cool thing about this is that she's using Kendrick Lamar's version. And so she's out here just dancing. Blue Ivy is not is peppered throughout the whole concert. At moments where she thinks it's inappropriate, she's gone. Moments that she doesn't think it's inappropriate, she's here. So we have this, and then we get into spaghetti. You ain't a regular singer. Go where you came from. I ain't no thing, but I got shooters and I bang. That's what we're in for. Okay, let me see if I have some other footage of that so that you guys can see that also. Here we have that. We have this is what we see. I must say the 100, 200 section off to the sides, I think is the better. It's just better to see everything. And so you see the stage. The stage has different iterations of a guitar. So I think that that's pretty cool. And so this is what we get. And you absolutely see Blue Ivy, especially if you said at least in the 100, 200 level, you can keep track of Blue Ivy coming on and off the stage. So I thought that that was pretty cool. So here we are. And then we get to Color the Moon. Okay, so after she's like, how much okay. She does this. Color the Moon. Ooh, one for you. This is the what's the guy's name? Uh Shabooz. Shabooz's part. Okay. She's on the floor like this. Okay, let me put it on mute so you can see. Bless me. Okay. So after that, we get to formation. And she absolutely was looking for the silhouette. And the, like how Michael Jackson, he has the infamous silhouette when he puts the hat on. We get this here. I didn't film it though. And then we get to um again a formation. We get to my house. Like, no, in this house. Like, in this house. Go up. Again, if you did not watch the formation, if you did not go and look at the Renaissance movie, you probably have not heard, unless you keep up with new releases of music, you would not have heard my house. We go in this house. Up in this house. I make love in this house. Okay, I've skipped. We got to Diva there. So let me see if I can go back and see if I have any footage on that. Mm, so here we are. She is feeling it, feeling it, feeling it. Here we are. And then we're like, in my house, you came. Who you got to see? Me. Who you got? Me. Me. Right. Ah, revolution. Here I come. Okay, went too far. Here we go. I don't think I took any more pictures of that. Let me see. 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 I did not. So then we get to Diva. It goes on to Diva. And you see Blue. She's out there. I'm not Diva. I'm not Diva is a female version of us. She does do Diva a little bit longer than other songs. So I do see that for sure. Okay, nope. Went too far. Um, and then this is how we get to oh, stop it. We get to do you see her? I like to meet ya. What you said? She ain't no diva. If you see her, I like to meet ya. What you say? She ain't no diva. Oh, he's a diva. That's what we get. She is a diva. Yeah, and then she walks off. This I'm playing music. No. She walks off, and then we get into another interlude. And then she comes out and then she sings Alligator Tears, which is one of my favorite songs on the album for sure. But it's the boots. And those alligator tears. Okay, here we go. So we get to the alligator tears here. Um, and she's singing it and she's having fun with it. Um, and then we see Rumi in the back. She knows all the dance moves. And I'm putting my phone on mute. Here she comes. You see she's dancing. You see that on film. Right. She's out here throwing um what's this? Okay, here's the thing about the roses. For those of you who do not know, um, one of the songs on the album is called My Rose. It originally was called Sir. So if you have the CD, it says Sir. If you have the digital copy, it says Rose. So that's probably why we have these roses here. Now, I'm gonna be frank. I look at this as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old who is in front of like 30,000 or some odd people. And a mother is trying to keep her focus on what's at hand. I've performed on stage before as a child, and it is not easy to stay focused and to be present. I think Blue is doing an amazing job at 13. I think that Rumi is doing an amazing job at 6 or 7 because this is her first time ever being on a stage. Now, does she is she available for choreography? Could she probably do something more? Maybe I don't know, but I'm gonna say this: I do not like to talk about her being having a disability, and having a disability is not a negative for sure. I'm not looking at it as a negative. Her son, if her son has a disability, I'm not looking at that as a negative. But I do not like people saying things as if it's a fact. And I look at this and saying, if I have a 10-year-old son, um, I have a 12-year-old daughter. Now, when my daughter was 6 and she was in a choir, I have video of it. And I mean, she had to perform in a choir. And when I tell you that had one day she was perfectly good. The next time she performed, she was perfectly fine. The third time she performed, she had the biggest meltdown in the world to the point that I was like, I'm gotta go up there in front of church, which was at least 200 people in, and had to get her off the stage because she had the complete meltdown, broke down in tears, like she just was uncontrollable. I went, grabbed her, picked her up, and we were done. So the concept of making it seem like she has a disability because she is just excited and all like if she does, she does. But I don't believe in diagnosing a child from seeing her being on stage this way. I don't like it. So there's that. So even when in the times that I've spoken to people who want to have this conversation, I get real highly because, unless she says it, I ain't saying ish. Now, here's the first night's outfit, and this is a completely different outfit. The other outfit I showed you, she wore that from 2 to 5. This one is the first night, completely different outfit. How about blue skirt? I want the skirt. See, look at how fabulous that skirt is. I love this too. Um, I thought it was amazing, and I just thought it was so cute. Her response was just adorable. Again, first time ever, ever, ever being on stage. I thought it was really, really cute. Let me see if I did any other nights. I don't. No, let me see. I do this. I don't know. Showed you that one. Um, let's see. I do a third night. Um, I didn't. Okay. 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 So after that, we get into Flamingo, and Flamingo was Okay, this is flamingo, which is fine. They do flamingo ends up having um those young girls who tap dance to flamingo. They're on the concert tour with her after the first night. You don't. I don't have pictures. I don't have video or pictures of them, but after the first one, I guess you only get one. I think the second one was in. Um, number two, what goes into we get into a video, and she comes back with Desert Eagle, and Desert Eagle is my jam. And then it moves into Riverdance, and Riverdance is my jam. So I just love Riverdance. We get into Riverdance, and then it instantly goes into Two Hands to Heaven. Um, you see Two Hands to Heaven for sure. Okay, so Two Hands to Heaven, she eventually, well, when she gets into, mhm, you slip, I find, no, no, ever, like water. Mm, wherever you want to go, that's fine with me. So, okay, we get to, which is one of my funniest, is on the sides, she has a part of the stage that has sacred, and the lights are the bottles of sacred. And she has a salon. And so then she sits, am I going too fast? I think I'm going too fast. I'm going too fast. Let me shut up. Continue. So then we get to Sweet Honey, and it's a pause. I don't know the pause, right? Sweet Honey and Pure Honey. So these are both from the Renaissance album. And then we get into Summer Renaissance for sure. And then we get into Walk It, Walk It, Walk It. Oh, look, chapter four, um, which is amazing interlude into this. And then when you bucking, and then she eventually leaves. And then we get back into journaling. I'm gonna have to pause here because I gotta show you the footage of other nights because I know I took footage of other nights for that. Um, maybe I did not. Let's see. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I did. Okay, so this is it. So you get to see the saloon. And see, on one side is Sir Davis. On one side is the saloon with Sir Davis. If you saw on the other side, on that side, it is Sacred. And so here we get into look, look, oh, look. The way she weaves in, because she starts hands to have a sweet honey, but then she does weave bucking into this, and it's just an amazing thing. Um, and then we get to, okay, so for this, so see, she doesn't do this on the first night. On the first night, she skips and goes into um, bucking comes right after. So we see bucking here, right? But that's not what she does on the first night. And I think I'm getting stuck on the first night. So we get into the bucket part. I've got to stop. And then we get back to, she comes out. The first night she doesn't do that. She leaves, she comes back, and she's in Jolene. And Jolene, she flies around and she's in a whole different outfit. Um, and she flies, let's see, this is a photo. She flies above us. And then she comes back on stage and she sings Daddy's Lessons. And then she does Bodyguard. I actually like this outfit better, but to each his own. But let me stop here after she gets into Bodyguard. Um, her flying over is to Most Wanted. And then she gets into Cuff It. And so here we are at Cuff It. So we're at Cuff It. Um, and then after Cuff It, she gets back onto here and she does Tyrant. That's what happens on the first night. Um, she does Tyrant here. She slips in Dance for You. Dan, Dance for You. The Dance for You is the flying back over, and then she gets into the Tyrant. Um, and then okay, let me stop because I do have footage of the other nights because I was super close to that too. Um, so she's decided, um, so this is Bodyguard. She's using Bodyguard. And then and then she flies over. And she uses Two Most Wanted to fly over. And then she's doing, I feel like falling. Cup it. I feel like falling in love. And that is not happening. um, see if this is, what is this? Oh no, that's the end. Let's see if I have any information. Oh, here we go. I have this. Same thing, same thing. And then we see, okay, let me put this on silent. No, it's nothing to do with this. Okay. Yeah, okay. So then we get to after Tyrant. Okay, so now I can go back and I can show you what happened. Mm, oh, I did show you that already. Okay, so we're here, and this is where we get After twilight, we get to thick with that right there. And then we get to all up in your mind. But when she sits down, she does um, bugaboo, 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 the music of it. So people are like, she does that every night. And then we get to, we do all up in your mind. Before I get to this, because that's way, it's way, way, we get to Levi's jeans, and we get to this, and she sings Levi's jeans. Um, and then she does do Daughter. I don't like the song, so I have no footage of that. Moving on, Alien Superstar. She does Welcome to the Renaissance, and then we get into I'm That Girl, Cozy, Alien Superstar. Um, and then she gets to uh, Texas Hold'em. Now, I'm going to say that that's the first night. She switches all of this around because when she gets to, after she does Levi's jeans, Daughter actually comes much later, and she does Texas Hold'em. And let's see if I, so we get to, this is Texas Hold'em. So it seems like she cuts out one of the wardrobe changes, and and she's moved everything around. So she gets a Texas Hold'em. I just love how this turns into stairs. It looks like a truck, but it's actually stairs. She comes down and she's singing Texas Hold'em, but then she does Crazy in Love. On the first night, she eventually even gets to sing on the second night, second through fifth night, she sings If I Were a Boy, Irreplaceable, um, Single Ladies. So she kind of goes into all of it. And then eventually she gets into the song. She does get into Before I Let You Go, but she does another song before I Let You Go. So she gets into a lot of, all the placement. And then we get into and then while she's on the interlude, we get Blue, and she has her own moment coming down. Um, This bitch is getting some. I believe he's probably in like brilliant. Mm, mm. Oh, I know. I know why this is saved. Um, I know that someone posted saying that she's wearing her creation again, but I didn't see much of a deviation from each of the nights when it came to her outfit. Um, so I could be wrong. I also probably also like I guess from afar, it didn't seem like it was that much of a deviation. But this is the Texas Hold'em one, but this also eventually gets to before I let you go. Now, and then we get to, let me see if I have any other footage of it. I could possibly. I don't think I do. I don't, I don't, I don't. And then she does 16 carriages. And so 16 carriages at the end, this is what it looks like. It's on mute. Now, every night she doesn't go the same route. So, if you're on one night and you're like, oh, let me go sit in this area to make sure that I'm on that same route, it doesn't work that way. If she goes to the right one night, then she's going to go to the left the next night. I feel like the best night that she did this was her fourth night. Because on the fourth night, she went all around the stadium. She did not do that on the third night and the fifth night. I don't know what she did the second night, but she didn't do that the first, third, and the fifth. So that was it. Well, she came close on the fifth night. Let me take it back. She did, but definitely on the second night, the third night, she didn't. And so, my God, it's disappointed. She was really above this. When I'm telling you that the whole time I was like, you gotta protect our home. So that was that night. Um, Here's another version of this. Different. I must say I like the second outfit, like the flag on her feet better than the first night's outfit. So I think that's pretty cool. I think it's probably less hot. And how about on the first night she said my name? I know she doesn't know me, but in my head, we're friends, not in a creepy way. But she says everyone's name at the end of Yaya, um, different people's names every single night. So it's like Elizabeth's a common name. So I know she don't mean that she saw me or that she knew I was there or anything. Um, so I don't take that as anything. I think I only did, I don't think I did anything. Did I do it again? I don't know. I did not. Okay. And that's a wrap, y'all. I think I've got a lot of steps on onto the concert. I got a great workout. I feel like I'm in a sauna in my own house at the moment. I had fun. I got to get back to reality. Got to get back to work. Got to get back to, I need to step my game up. I thought it was an amazing show. There's all these in- incredibly double meanings. The level of product placement that she has for her that she has throughout the show is stunning. Like she is constantly showing you that she got some bottles. Sir Davis, that's for sale. Sacred, she has for sale. I got a free keychain. I don't have that with me. It's in the car. Um, it broke. That's why. And yeah, I thought she did an amazing job. I enjoyed every second of it. And my kids enjoyed every second of it. We had fun, created nice memories. I will say that this is not as light as Renaissance. I found that Renaissance was a much lighter experience. Everyone was just like this lackadaisical free. I thought it was amazing at how many people didn't dress terribly, like I saw so many people with clothes on all of their body. Now, granted, there were some who were wearing chaps with their butt out and stuff like that. So I get that, but the vast majority was like jean skirts down to the ankle. Like, I mean, so it was really an amazing little um kind of experience. She does incorporate church world even into the set. So the only song that she doesn't include, I think, from Renaissance is Move and um, the other song, Get Up, Energy, and the song that comes on, it's the single. But anyway, so it's a great time. It's a great time. I would highly encourage you to go. It was a fun experience. I enjoyed it. I had a blast. I do think that she's making a lot of her shows a lot more family friendly. So I saw a lot of kids there, not just my kids. I saw even younger kids there. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, sorry if this was long. I tried to give you as great detail as possible. Bye.